And now we're going to take some step back into the heyday of flying with a trip to the downtown airport and the Airline History Museum. When did the History Museum open here?
It started back in 1986 with the acquisition of a Lockheed Constellation. And then over the years it grew. They added a couple more airplanes and we moved into this current location in 2000.
Now the Constellation is the Connie, which is, if you grew up in Kansas City, when you drove up and down 169 highway, you used to see it sitting there off the side of the runway, right?
Yeah, it used to sit over on the west side of the airport outside, or the east side, excuse me.
Now we'll tour that here coming up in just a little bit, but talk about some of this collection. And to walk through, we had to come through a bunch of old airline seats here in your theater. What are those from?
Those are out of a 747 from TWA. They've managed to collect a lot of things over the years and kind of built a little bit of a timeline in here, a couple sections where we talk about the early days of aviation with the mail service up through where the airline industry is at today. And then we have a section over here that talks about the flight crews, the pilots, co-pilots, navigators, radio operators, navigators, everybody that used to fly an airplane that now it only takes 2 people. And then we have a nice little section on the history of what it was like in the cabin and the flight attendants and the different uniforms and how back in the day when flying was a big deal, the big names in fashion were involved. Ralph Lauren was designing for TWA, you had Pucci designing for Braniff, and just everything was very up-to-date, elegant, classy.
Yeah.
You know, the pilot actually used to have the right to kick you off if you weren't dressed well enough.
So if you showed up in your pajamas like the kids do now these days, you're not catching this flight.
Nope, he'd kick you off.
Up next, we're going to step aboard the crown jewel of the Airline History Museum. It's the Lockheed Constellation, affectionately known as the Connie.